The Point. 98.7 CKPM FM.
It is 7:49. Good morning. It's a little soggy out there. Actually, we can start this a little early. Joe and Sheila Hicks are here, and they're sitting down. How are you guys?
Splendid, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good, Rod.
Yeah, and you made the trek in from Vancouver.
We did.
And how is the traffic? Did you guys take Barnett Highway or the freeway?
We came straight down Hastings, basically, the whole way.
Barnett.
Barnett Highway, yeah. And traffic was good?
Yeah, it was good. We were going the opposite direction. So, yeah, your traffic report is lovely today. A little wet, but other than that, it's great.
But the good news is Mother Nature is getting all of this out of the way because by the weekend we're supposed to be up to the 20s.
That is my theory. I always hope that it rains for the 2 weeks before the rodeo. And so far, I've been correct as far as the sun. So, fingers crossed.
It is. And the Cloverdale Rodeo goes this weekend. How many years have you been at the rodeo, Sheila?
Well, I've been doing it since I've been 15.
So that's the first year I met you. So a lot of years.
So 17 years.
You're 32?
I am, sir.
Holy crap.
I know. I'll take it.
So, yeah, I know. So I met you in 2000. And out of all those years, from 2000 till now, how many totally dry long weekends have we had?
I find it goes in shifts of 4, actually. So we've only had 3 super wet years where it's been relentless rain.
Yes.
And then usually you get a bit of a mix, and then this year would be the rotation for it to be sunny.
Well, yeah, because almost the last 3 years it's been pretty decent. We didn't get any rain last year or the year before, I don't think.
Yeah, no rain. That.
Sorry to interrupt. Just the Monday, I think, right?
Yeah.
Well, a little bit of Monday, yeah. And that was before showtime. So Joe Hicks and Sheila Hicks are here. We're going to talk to them. And besides being horse people and motorcycle people and skiing people, they have a really cool career. So we'll talk to them in a second. Here's Alan Raymond. This is 13 on The Point. 98.7 The Point. That's Alan Raymond and 13. It's going to be a little soggy this morning. Then the sun is going to come this afternoon. A special guest appearance by the sunshine. Sheila Hicks is here. Joe Hicks is here. Husband and wife.
Hi.
Hello.
Now, here's the background with Sheila and Joe. Cloverdale Rodeo. Sheila has been part of Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry team for, well, it's changed names over the years, but for 17 or so years?
Yeah, so Bit-A-Bling has been together 10 years, celebrating our 10th anniversary this year, and 10th year as a team with Cloverdale Rodeo. I've been on a couple of different teams that have done Cloverdale over the years, but Bling is the team that I now run and founded with a couple of other girls from the team. And yeah, happy and proud to be back.
We're going to talk about what Grand Entry is after 8 o'clock. Now, the lovely husband, Joe, how did you two meet?
Well, Joe was my flight instructor. He jokingly likes to say I needed extra credit, but we actually didn't start dating until 4 years later.
So, flight instructor, now you fly planes?
We do. We both do.
Really?
Yeah. Both Sheila and I are pilots with Air Canada.
Wow, we'll talk about that after 8 o'clock as well. How cool is that? And you also have a couple of motorcycles you ride around on?
We do. We keep ourselves very busy. The horses are our main focus, but we have lots of fun hobbies, and with our work schedule, we're away a lot, but it also gives us a lot of time off to have some fun.
And that's the thing, and this is why I admire you two. You're married, you live together, you work the same job but not together, but you spend so much time together. You like each other.
Yeah, he's a beauty.
We have fun, absolutely. Yeah.
That's good. Okay, so Joe Hicks, Sheila Hicks, we're going to talk to them more as the morning progresses. We're going to get in depth about Cloverdale Rodeo, what Grand Entry is. We'll talk a little bit about Air Canada as well, and we'll play some of their songs. Coming up next, new music from Billy Raphael.
Good life means you.
The 80s a Day Journey, Don't Stop Believin'. That is Sheila Caravetta's favorite song for singing at karaoke. Sheila Hicks. I've known you since you're a Caravetta.
I know. Most people do.
Yeah, and Joe Hicks, husband and wife team here. Now, we're here for the biggest thing, and that's the Cloverdale Rodeo that's coming up this weekend. It starts on Friday. Now, Sheila and Joe are involved with the Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry. Now, if I'm new to rodeo, how would you explain to a newbie what Grand Entry is?
So Grand Entry, we do the opening ceremonies of the rodeo. So it's 3 to 5 minutes. It's a choreographed maneuver to music, and it's just to kind of pump up the crowd and get everybody ready and let them know that we're kicking off the rodeo, as well as we do the anthems. So somebody sings and we go around with the flags.
So this thing, these ladies are on horseback, so it's kind of like synchronized swimming on horseback.
That's exactly how I describe it, actually. Yeah.
To really good music at the
Really
same
good
time.
music. Joe does our music for us.
And if you are familiar with rodeo, you see grand entry teams, and there are some good, and there are some incredibly good, and you guys are on the upper end of the incredibly good.
I would like to think so.
How much work does it take to do something like that?
It's a pretty big commitment. I'm very fortunate. I've worked with a lot of these girls for a number of years now, and they are fantastic. Super committed. We practice every Tuesday in Langley year-round. And, yeah, it's a huge commitment. We all have our own trucks, our own rigs, our own horses. Big deal.
And your own pet boyfriends and husbands?
Yes, yeah. They come along, help us out. They keep us fed. It's all a big team.
Yeah.
Everybody's super
The
involved.
team's got a big group of volunteers that helps out, and at the rodeos, a lot of the boyfriends, husbands, and whatnot, and families. We keep the girls fed and happy, and we realize that these girls need to eat. They're so busy with the horses, and there's lots of other stuff that goes on behind the scenes.
That's right.
Happen.
Yeah, and you know now that you married a cowgirl that it's a different lifestyle, because girls and horses are totally a different thing. And if you get into that, you came from a skateboarding background.
I did. The rodeo world's new to me, but it's something that's I'm married into and really, really enjoying it. And we help out a lot with the rodeos and volunteer.
My dad jokingly said when Joe asked if he could marry me, my dad's like, you know that the horse trailer goes with her, right?
We have to talk about family a minute, but I want to go back to the grand entry here, because the synchronized movements that you do, when do you come up with the patterns? Does it sort of hit you in the middle of the night? You wake up and write it down?
That is exactly what happens.
Really?
Yeah. I've been very fortunate to have help over the years with formulating the pattern. There's been a number of women that have hugely helped out with rodeo. Hannah, Corey, Sharon, huge shout out to those ladies who've helped out over the years. And the current one we're doing is a mashup of what Sharon choreographed last year, and then I made some changes to it for this year. We usually adjust it a little bit every year, and it just kind of flows.
Nice. Now, Sharon is Sharon Jackson, the birthday girl.
It is. Happy birthday, Sharon.
Happy birthday, Sharon.
And Corey Bokenfor, who her cousin, I think, works for Port Moody Police, and she lives in Ashcroft or something?
Yeah, she lives up in Ashcroft. So how Bit-A-Bling started 10 years ago was Corey and Sharon and myself broke off and formed Bit-A-Bling. And then over the years, they've been involved with me, and I took it over, fully running it 7 years ago when Corey moved up to Ashcroft.
And then Hannah lives in White Rock.
She does, yes. Yeah, Hannah is my sparkle go-to girl. Yeah, she's a beauty.
The sparkle girl. Now, you have roots here, Sheila. You have roots in Belcarra.
I do, yeah. I grew up in Belcarra, right at the end of Bedwell Bay. Lived there until I was about 12 or so, and I got into riding super competitively. So my parents were driving out to the valley on a regular basis for lessons, and they said, that's enough of that, and we moved out to Langley area.
So from Belcarra to Langley, and you haven't looked back. Well, I guess you miss that sometimes, because living in a beautiful place like Belcarra, but then Langley's beautiful as well.
It is, yeah, and we're downtown now. We moved downtown, Joe and I, 2 years ago to be closer to work, make the commute a little bit easier. But my parents still have a boat out here at Reed Point Marina, and yeah, we're still in the area quite a bit.
Excellent. So we're going to talk about the parents. We're going to talk about the other career and some other stuff. But I got to play. When you talk about rodeo, you've got to play some Chris Ledoux.
Absolutely.
So here's Cadillac Cowboy, 98.7 The Point.
Hold tight with a leather fist. Watch out when he starts to twist on the other side of the hill. Well, I'm a lover of the other side of the hill.
Yeah, the ultimate singing cowboy, Chris Ledoux. We're talking Cloverdale Rodeo. Sheila Hicks, Joe Hicks are here. Now, Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry is what you're involved with. They open up the 5 shows at Cloverdale this weekend. Friday night, it's 2 on Saturday, one on Sunday, then the grand final on Monday. You can get tickets, and this is fun family entertainment, isn't it?
Great show. Definitely family friendly, really enjoyable, and it's a whole day event.
Yeah, there's the parade on Saturday as well.
Oh, yes, the parade. Everybody loves a parade.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody loves parades.
Except for the guys, the husbands and boyfriends that have to pick the poop up.
Yes, Joe
I'm
is
really
the
good
master.
I try and hand it out to the spectators, but no one wants to help me out and pick up any of it. But
That's fun.
Yeah.
Now, the Cloverdale Rodeo itself, it's got 4 major events. It's got barrel racing, which are ladies on horses. It's got bucking bulls, which is just the world's most extreme sport ever. And then it's got bucking horses, just bareback and saddle bronc bucking horses. And those are the 4 major events. And then you ladies open up the thing with the grand entry.
We do, yeah. We open up the show and we close it off with happy trails at the end. So it's a good whole day event.
Yeah. And this is in the Stetson Bowl, and it's got some covered seating, and it's got areas where you can suntan. It's got beer gardens, and it's got probably the world's greatest rodeo announcer, Bob Tallman, is there. And I get a chance to work with him, so I'm lucky on that part. Now, we were talking about family. There's the 2 dads.
The 2 dads, yes. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. And so, yeah, we call them the dads.
Yeah, and who are the dads?
So my actual dad is Ralph, who's been very, very involved with me growing up and driving me to shows literally all throughout Canada, the U.S., as well as Australia. And then I've got an uncle who I'm very close with as well, my Uncle Paul, who is a supporter of the team. And, yeah, so they make up the dads.
And Paul is JDF Trucking, right?
That's correct,
JDP.
yeah. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
JDP, yes.
JDP
yeah,
Trucking,
shout out
JDP.
JDP, one of our sponsors.
That's nice. And Paul's probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He'll give you the shirt off his back, and he's done that.
Yeah, I'm sure he has. Yeah, my dad has actually literally given the shirt off of his back to Joe so he could walk in the parade.
My first parade was with the previous team and with Sheila, and I was sitting in the back of the car. We were going downtown to, I believe it was a
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day parade, and it was my first rodeo event, and didn't have a collared shirt.
Oh,
so I thought I could just sort of hide in the background, and this was my first introduction to this. And I remember Ralph driving and looking at the rearview mirror and smiling and said, "Joe, you don't have a shirt." And I said, "No." And as soon as he put it in park, he proceeded to take off his collared shirt, handed it to me, and said, "Well, here you go, and now you're in the parade." And I haven't been able to give it back, and
Never
nor do I
look
want
back.
to. Yeah.
What a cool story. Now, besides doing Cloverdale Rodeo, you've got the other ones that you do.
Yeah, we just do the main 2 as a team. So we have Cloverdale Rodeo, which is our biggest event, and then we also do Barrier Rodeo in September. So that's the North Thompson Fall Fair in Barrier.
And it's not cheap because you've got, how many girls are on the team?
There's 21 lovely ladies. Thank you all for being part of Bling this year. Couldn't do it without you. So 21 girls that join us for Cloverdale as well as Barrier.
Now, 21 girls plus support. So, I mean, you can double or triple haul horses here and there. But it's not cheap going up there, is it?
No, and we're very fortunate to be supported by both rodeos. And most of the time we try to cover our expenses, but we do it because we love it.
You do, and you know how to have fun, and you can tell because I don't think I've ever seen a grumpy Bit-A-Bling rider.
No, I'm very lucky. Most of the girls, all of them that I've dealt with over the years, have always been super supportive, really happy group, and a pleasure to work with. So pretty lucky.
And what's the rotation on the grand entry? Because it takes a bit of a commitment. So there's some that'll become moms and they don't have the time, and some that think, okay, I don't have time because I've got this going on. So how many do you rotate through per year?
Well, this year we only have 2 new girls, and that's been pretty consistent with the rotation the last few years. I've been pretty lucky. So I've been running Bit-A-Bling for 7 years now, and I've been working with the majority of the team. So there's about 13 of us that have been together that entire time. We call us the originals, and then we kind of rotate through, and girls will go to school, go and be moms, come back and join the team later. We've got a couple of returning girls this year, and yeah, really lucky.
And that's like Arlene Van Roon has been with you for a long time, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's not riding this year. Her daughter's doing meet and greet. And then we've got a returning member, shout out to Megan, who
just popped a baby out.
She did. So brand new mom. And Joe and I are very pleased. We're the godparents of lovely
Why?
Peyton.
They trust you with a little baby?
That's what we said. But
They might regret their decision, but so far so good.
Excellent. Now, the Bit-A-Bling, so if you just joined us, Bit-A-Bling is a grand entry team. It's kind of like if you were to look at synchronized swimming, you put these ladies on horseback out of water, and they ride a pattern and such in the arena, and they're all dressed the same, and it looks pretty cool. Now, with you, what is the scariest moment ever, or what's the one that comes to you?
I know where you're going with this, and you've known me before Joe has even known me, and that would be when I was 20. My latigo broke. So for those of you point listeners out there that don't know what a latigo is, it's the leather part of your saddle that attaches the girth on. So basically it holds your saddle to your horse. And the backstory with this is my dad has been to every single show and rodeo performance I've ever done, with the exception of that one being his first that he's ever missed. And he was giving me a hard time about my tack earlier that day. He's like, you got to fix that up. You know, you're going to have problems. I'm like, yeah, sure, Dad, sure. And sure enough, that's the one he missed. My latigo broke, and I ended up still with my feet in my stirrups in the dirt. And you actually said to me on the loudspeaker, well, if you're a real cowgirl, you get on and ride out bareback. And I did.
Yes, you did. I know, that was it was fantastic, and things like that happen because you're dealing with animals.
Yeah, and it's unpredictable, and we're really fortunate that our horses put up with all that we do. And most of these horses have been trained throughout the years in order to do it and be ready for it.
And we are going to talk about the love between people and their horses in just a second. Sheila Hicks is here. Joe Hicks is here. Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry team, and part of the Cloverdale Rodeo that's coming up this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We're going to talk more after this.
The Relay for Life, 7 CKPM FM.
It's 8:23. Good morning. It's going to be an okay day. Don't let this morning fool you. Sunshine's coming out this afternoon, and then it's going to stay with its friend the clouds for the next week or so. Highs to the 20s by the weekend. Sheila Hicks is here. Joe Hicks is here. Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry. They are part of the Cloverdale Rodeo that gets underway Friday night. Showtime 7 o'clock is Friday night, our first show, right?
7:30.
7:30 Friday night. And you ladies kick the show off.
We do, yeah. So there's 16 girls, lovely ladies. Shout out to all you babes on the team. And 16 of us ride in. We've got a couple girls that will be standing out front that do meet and greet. So they will greet everyone as they come into the arena. So definitely come say hi. And then a couple of girls that are doing the victory laps as well.
Nice. And you ladies do all of this on horses. Now, the love between, I always say a girl and her horse because it's more so, but Joe, you've got a beautiful paint, and there's always the connection, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing. I jokingly say horses are like dogs that you can ride. And, but the connection's super strong, and it's a really neat bond, and it's a lifelong thing.
It is indeed. And, it's just amazing. You go through horses as you grow up, and what is the name of your horse, Sheila?
The one I'm riding is Lucky this year. He's actually not my horse. He's a borrowed horse from Bob, so thank you very much, Bob.
Is that Bob from Ashcroft?
No, but shout out to Bob and Ashcroft. It's Bob Carswell. His daughter Casey is the American flag this year, and they lent him to me last year as well as this year because I'm raising a baby who will hopefully, not a human baby, a horse baby, to clarify. That might help.
How did I not know this?
How is it breastfeeding?
Yeah, it was a little awkward. So my baby will be ready to ride. I might actually ride her in barrier this year. We'll just see how she does.
And for people who don't know, you got to wait till your horse is about 3 before you start riding it because it isn't finished growing yet. So
exactly. She was pretty big. I broke her when she was 2, just lightly, and then she was 3 last year. Rode her a little bit more, and she just turned 4, so she might be ready to go at the end of this year.
Nice. And Joe, you went from a skateboarding, thinking you might want to be a pro skateboarder, into the horse world. Different from wheels to hooves. Yeah,
very, very much so. So that was my my big hobby throughout high school and whatnot, and did a few competitions, and it was a lot of fun. Made some great friends, and it's nice to be athletic in any kind of venue. And so that was my hobby. And then university, other things took over, and real life started. And so got into my career, and that's when I met Sheila, and sort of picked up a new hobby.
Hi, here are horses. You will love them.
That's funny. We're going to talk about your guys' career right after this. And Sheila, I said pick a song. You picked Carly Simon, You're So Vain. Is it karaoke or what is it?
It is karaoke. For those that know me, I am a terrible singer, but I love to sing. So, yes, these are all my classic karaoke go-tos.
Here's some Carly Simon, 98.7 The Point. 98.7 The Point. Carly Simon, you're so vain. It is 8:30. It's soggy out there. Joe Hicks, Sheila Hicks are here, part of the Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry team. They are performing at the Cloverdale Rodeo on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Ladies on horses with guys picking up after them. That's the best way to describe it. Synchronized horse riding.
Hell yeah.
So, the horses are the hobby, and amongst other hobbies. Both of you have very cool careers.
We like it.
Yeah. We both fly airplanes for a living, so that's it's lots of fun and takes us to some neat places.
And that's where you met.
Yeah. Initially, exactly. We first crossed paths when we were both. I was just starting on my career, and Sheila was learning how to fly. So that's when we first.
Joe was
met.
my flight instructor.
Now, where did you take your flight instructor?
Out in
stuff at?
Abbotsford.
Yeah, Coastal Pacific Aviation was the school we went through, as well as the University of the Fraser Valley. We do a degree program through there.
Nice. Now, what do you learn how to fly first? The small Cessna?
Yeah, so we started on Cessna 172s and then went to Twin Comanches, and then we both instructed on 172s, 152s, Twin Comanches, and Cherokees. Yeah. And then we both went on to Pacific Coast Airlines. That was 1900s and King Airs. And then from there to Air Canada. So we have the exact same career path. That is
interesting. Now, true love, it happens. You guys are obviously in love. I've known you. And
High five.
The spark is still there. Did you know when you saw her? Did you know when you saw him? Or was it like, leave me alone?
I actually did. It's kind of a joke because when I came home from ground school, Joe was actually my ground school instructor. First year in aviation, I said to my mom, I was like, I'm going to marry that guy. And she's like, what? And I had a boyfriend at the time. Joe had a girlfriend. And then fast forward 4 years, we started dating.
That's pretty cool. And what about you?
Yeah, I met Sheila, and one of the
I
things,
wore on him.
Yeah.
One of the things when I was instructing, I always liked about Sheila is that you're teaching a course at 8 a.m. to about 20 people, and everyone's tired. Even as an instructor, you're tired trying to energize a class. And Sheila was always front and center, even more awake and more bubbly than I was. And I remember thinking, she's a pretty neat girl. And then fast forward 4 years, we I think met again on Mount Baker snowboarding, and that's when the light went on in my head that I should probably spend some time with this.
So
girl.
You didn't know you were each going to be there, and you saw each other there.
It was mutual friends. Flying's a small world, and we sort of knew that we had mutual friends up there. And then it was a big group, and we all met up at the top of the hill and said, "Let's race to the bottom." And so I was fortunate; I was in the lead, and I could feel someone right on my tail. But snowboarding, if you look over your shoulder, you're going to turn, and therefore you're going to slow down. So I just, hauled butt down to the bottom, and I stopped, and I looked behind me, and there was this girl in a pink helmet and pink pants smiling ear to ear to me, and I said,
I can't believe he beat me. I really can't.
That's great.
Yeah, that's when the light went on in my head that I should definitely spend some time with this pretty neat girl, and never looked back since.
It takes someone special, though, with an attitude like that and yours to fly the plane. You've got to be focused, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a job that obviously you hope nothing goes wrong, but when it does, you have to be focused and attentive and be able to respond correctly. So
we like uneventful days.
Yes,
that is the goal.
That's like being a paramedic or a firefighter.
Exactly.
You like uneventful days.
Exactly.
Now, you got the clearance from the tower to talk about Air Canada, and I don't know, this story is one of my favorite stories, because if you don't know Sheila is a marvelous-looking lady, and
You're too kind.
She was walking into her flight one day, and there was this elderly lady that saw you and asked if you were the pilot.
Yeah, I actually get that quite often. Most people think flight attendant, which is totally great. We have amazing flight attendants that work for us. But yeah, I've actually had a few people that haven't wanted to fly with me. But on the most part, it's all been good things.
But the reaction of the lady, she started doing a prayer or something.
She did. Yeah, she did. It was a older Asian lady, and she started praying. Literally. I'm like, okay, well, thanks. That's a solid vote of confidence there.
Nice. Now, what's your route usually when you fly? What are you on, the smaller planes, or what are you on now?
Both Joe and I are on the Airbus 320, 319,
Wow.
321s. Yeah, so it flies all throughout North America. So we spend a lot of time in Montreal, Toronto, New York, San Francisco, LA, Mexico City.
Yeah. We sort of with our horses, we like to be home as much as we can with our job allows. And so we choose to stay within North America versus going overseas because it enables us to be home a little bit more. So to sort of deal with our hobbies and enjoy that. So
yeah, and you guys fly to Vancouver, which has been voted one of the top airports again. There's interesting airports to fly into. I remember going into O'Hare and waiting to taxi, and it was nighttime, and I see like line after line after line of lights of planes coming in, and we're like station number 12 to take off, and it's an interesting thing. What is your most favorite airport to fly into other than Vancouver?
Vancouver is my favorite. It is a beautiful airport. It's one of the nicest ones out there, definitely. Chicago is infamous. I was number 47 in line last week for takeoff. So that can always be fun. And as far as favorite airports, I think we both love Frisco and LA.
Yeah, definitely.
Vegas is up there too.
Yeah. San Francisco's reminds me of an American Vancouver as far as you're on the coast. There's a little bit of mountains, and it's just beautiful. The Golden Gate Bridge, it's fantastic.
Nice, and it's so cool that you get to do this. Now, when did you decide? You came from skateboarding, you went to school, and when did you decide you wanted to be a pilot?
For me, it was, I guess, actually somewhat late in high school, realizing that, a real career in the extreme sports is very, very tough. And I jokingly say I'm just a big kid that never grew up. And so that took me into flying. It was, I don't have any family members that flew. It was something that just almost made sense when it came across that I could get paid to fly airplanes. And so just went and checked out a few of the universities locally, and we both chose the one that we did, and it was a fantastic start to the career, and so it was a 4-year training, and away we went from there. Well,
it's interesting to see that you did that. Now, Sheila, because Sheila's always been sort of an intense, hate to lose kind of person. What got you into flying?
Similar to Joe, nobody in my family flies either. When I was a kid, I'd always watched this cartoon called Tailspin on TV, and I know that sounds very strange, but it was a flying bear, an animated show, and I always thought that was super neat. And then through high school, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I rode super competitively and trying to figure out, do I ride horses forever? How do I make that a career? And went and did a fan flight at a Langley and fell in love with planes. Same as Joe, went through the 4-year training program, and the rest is history.
And it's nice. And even in the short time you two have been flying, things have changed a lot, haven't they, when it comes to the cockpits?
Yeah. There's rules have changed, and they're forever evolving with safety and whatnot, which is obviously a good thing. And as we, both Sheila and I, when we started with Air Canada, we flew a smaller airplane. So as we progress in our career, the planes keep getting bigger as well. So there's lots of change and learning that goes on there too.
Nice.
Lots of buttons, similar to your job.
Yes, I like buttons.
That's what Joe says too.
That's great. Sheila Hicks, Sheila Caravetta Hicks. Sheila Hicks and Joe Hicks are here, part of the Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry team for the Cloverdale Rodeo. Rodeo happens on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday out in Cloverdale, beautiful Cloverdale. Joe is a big Metallica fan, and you might like this. It's kind of a trippy version of Enter Sandman. It's by 4 sisters that are out of Colorado.
Fantastic.
And
Let's
here's
hear
their
it.
version of it.
Say your prayers, little one. Don't forget my son to include everyone.
98.7 The Point. That's Shell and Enter Sandman. It's 8:41. Good morning. Traffic, there's nothing major. It's been a pretty good morning out there, and the weather is going to get better. We were promised by Mother Nature we're going to get some sunshine and highs into the 20s by the weekend. Joe Hicks, Sheila Hicks are here. They are part of the Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry team. And once again, I'm going to let Sheila explain to what Grand Entry is. It's happening at the Cloverdale Rodeo on the 5 shows, 1 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 Sunday, and the finals on Monday. So, Sheila, for those of us that don't know what Grand Entry is, what is it?
Yeah, for those of you just tuning in, I would highly recommend coming down and checking out the 71st Cloverdale Rodeo that's happening this weekend. And you'll see myself along with 16 other lovely ladies, 21 girls in total that make up Bit-A-Bling. And what we do is we do the opening ceremonies to the rodeo. So it's choreographed, similar to what you said, synchronized swimming type deal on horses. We do a performance to music, and then the anthems So it takes about 3 to 5 minutes and basically just pumps everybody up, gets you ready for rodeo.
Kind of like a big line dance.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to jokingly say it's everyone's probably familiar with the RCMP musical ride. So replace police officers with good-looking cowgirls and replace slow music with fast country and or rock and roll music, and you've got the grand.
So the musical ride on steroids.
There you go. Exactly.
Exactly. Now, the Cloverdale Rodeo has been fantastic. It's been a large part of Cloverdale and Surrey for a lot of years, and there is a couple of places we can go, and if you're an adult, you can have some adult beverages.
Absolutely, yeah. The Longhorn Saloon is infamous for the rodeo. People literally start lining up at around noon to get in, so if it's something you're interested in, I would say get your Beat the Line passes early, as well as there's a number of beer gardens on site that are associated with the fair. And lots of family friendly, tons of stuff to do. There's games, rides, along with the rodeo as well. It's a full day event, lots of trade shows.
There is, and there's interactive displays. There's like Main Roads has got their little driving thing for the kids, and there's an art gallery. You can bid on some art. There's a petting zoo, I believe, and then we've got Aaron Perchette, who is a phenomenal act. He's playing on Sunday.
He is, yeah.
George Wolfe is playing. Ken McCoy is playing. I don't know if Brent Lee is back this year or
I
not.
don't think this year.
Yeah, I haven't seen, but who knows? I have to double check that one.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good. There's fun for all kinds of kids. And once again, the rodeo itself is fantastic. We have got some of the top animal and human athletes competing at this event. We have got ladies and their horses in the barrel racing. We have got bull riders. We have got bucking bronc riders, both saddle and bareback. And it's about a 2-hour show, and it's just a whole bunch of fun. High intensity in 2 hours.
It is, definitely. I would say come down for sure. The venue, how it's set up is they have Pool A on Friday and Saturday. Then Pool B is Saturday night and Sunday. And then the finals are on Monday. So if you can't make it down to watch any or all of the performances, you can watch it online. We're televised worldwide. Go to cloverdalerodeo.com, and on the right-hand side, click the Watch Wrangler Network.
Yeah, the Wrangler Network. And the cool part here is the City of Surrey supports this so much. We're giving away almost $400,000 in prize money, which is kind of cool.
It's pretty amazing. It's one of the highest for the competitors as far as prize money goes, as well as they give out the Cloverdale Rodeo infamous spurs.
They are indeed. It's a whole bunch of fun. So we're going to talk a little bit more about personal likes from Sheila and Joe after we do these commercials. The weather is going to be decent. Don't let this morning discourage you, because come this afternoon and then for the rest of the week, a sun and cloud mix. Highs into the upper teens by tomorrow, up into the 20s by Saturday.
The good life is spending less.
CA, local jobs that work.
Well, it is 8:48. It is what day is it? It's a Tuesday morning. I keep thinking I'm already in rodeo mode because of Joe and Sheila that are here right now. Part of the Bit-A-Bling Grand Entry team. They open up the rodeo shows out in Cloverdale this weekend. Now, Joe and Sheila are here, and you two live right downtown, right by BC Place, right by Rogers Arena.
We do. Most people that knew that we were moving downtown and know us were like, you guys are moving downtown? But we love it. Yeah, like the downtown lifestyle.
It's really hard to keep the horses in the parking stall, but we make it work.
It's funny because when we go down, my kid and I take the SkyTrain because we have the new Evergreen line here now, so it's great.
That's right.
And we save parking, don't have to worry about a few other things. But as we're going down to the last Canucks game, my kid says, "Hey, Dad, can Joe let us park in the underground next time so we don't have to take the train down?" And I says, "No, son, they've got their horses down there."
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. So you're sitting up in your balcony over the last week, and the nice days we had, you had a bit of a treat.
We have. It's been an interesting week downtown.
Yeah, it's been fantastic with U2 rehearsing for their world tour there and their concert there a few days ago. They were practicing all last week, so it was quite a neat treat. We'd come home from Cloverdale after practicing for the rodeo, and you'd sit on the balcony, possibly with a beer, and you'd listen to them rehearse, and you'd basically get a live, call it a private concert. And it was pretty neat because you could look across all the other buildings. Everyone was sitting there enjoying the concert, and it would go on till about I think about 10:30ish.
Yeah, it wasn't too late, but it was
yeah, it was
pretty
sure
good.
fun. It was a neat
Everybody
experience on clear nights downtown.
That's the joy about living in a place like this. There's just so much cool stuff happening. Whether you live in downtown Vancouver or you live out in Langley, there's always a lot of cool stuff happening. Here in the Tri-Cities, we've got, of course, Rocky Point Park. And, growing up in Belcarra, Sheila, how neat it is, the trails and everything down there.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's definitely a beautiful area to live, and we still have ties to the neighborhood. My parents keep their boat at Reed Point, and yeah, I grew up right in Belcarra, right at the end of Bedwell Bay Road. Went to Belcarra Elementary, shout out, Anmore Elementary School. And yeah, then moved out to Langley and now downtown. So we've been all over.
You've been all over, yes, and you still continue because both you and your lovely husband fly for a living.
We do. We both work for Air Canada and really enjoy the job, have a lot of fun, and are able to do it all.
And you think of that with you, you're one of 21 girls that ride with Bit-A-Bling. So you've got an interesting career. What other careers are your riders into? I mean, of course, there's the students and there's other things, but what kind of careers do we have?
Yeah, it's actually a very cool team in the fact that these girls put in a huge commitment. So thank you, whoever's listening. You ladies are amazing. And we've got some great careers out there. We've got paramedics, bus drivers, hairdressers,
Welders, flight attendants.
Yeah, flight attendants.
Obviously, mom's probably the hardest job of all, but it's
couple office managers.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a few girls in the equine world as well, but it's very, very diverse. And
couple massage therapists and equine massage therapist. So yeah, some really, really cool professions on this team, which is neat.
And everyone manages to find the time on Tuesday evenings to get together and practice, and then obviously it's a commitment for everybody that I was able to get the rodeos off, and everyone loves doing it, and so we all get together during these long rodeo weekends and have some fun.
Yeah, that's cool. And you talk about the equine people. A friend of ours, you have to go pick up some bling from her later on.
Yes, I think Nancy is listening at Greenhawk, as well as there's a bunch of other feed stores around. Milner.
Yeah, Nick at Milner.
Thanks, you guys, for all the love. And so we get to go see them and pick up some shiny bling to make us sparkle this weekend.
It's going to be a fun time. So Cloverdale Rodeo, it is kicking off Friday night, 7:30, the first show. And the way it happens is you walk into the arena, you grab your seat, and then the music starts. And you see these 16 lovely ladies ride in with their horses, and you're all dressed the same.
We are all dressed the same. I think we were doing the math. Last night and this morning, we put together all the team uniforms. We call them the packs. So Joe and I put together all the packs, and there's 6 performances that we do, including the parade. So we have 6 different outfits that we're going to be wearing, a different one for every performance. And I think in total we counted 198 shirts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
plus
that the
polos.
team does. Yeah.
And the interesting thing here is because, and this is going to sound really catty, but it's true to an extent, because if you put 20 women together in a room, they're going to be fighting, but you don't do that.
No, I'm really lucky.
How does it work?
These are amazing women. Honestly, they're a powerhouse team for sure. I've been very fortunate. I know a lot of them through life in general, and I would say we're all friends more than anything else. We spend our summers together. We all go camping together all summer up to Lumbum outside of Merritt, and yeah, I think it's a really good group, and the fact that we all know each other and our friends outside of rodeo as well as in rodeo.
And I've seen more drama with the husbands and boyfriends out there than I have with the girls, so that's interesting.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without our support system, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know. Don't pick on Corey.
Corey, if you're listening, you're a beauty. Don't listen to him.
He's funny. That's Arlene's brother, and I like bugging him. But it's going to be a fun time once again. The weather is going to cooperate with us. Mother Nature says we're going to get some clouds and sunshine, highs into the 20s by the weekend. Joe Hicks, Sheila Hicks, thank you for coming here.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you, Cloverdale Rodeo, for supporting us in our 10th year. Thanks very much.
It's going to be fun. And you can get tickets. Just get all the information going to cloverdalerodeo.com. And I asked for a song, and Joe said Kiss. Why Kiss, Joe?
Why not?
Fine. Here's Dr. Love at 98.7 The Point.